See that light? Something's wrong with me. Okay. Hello my bookworms, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney, and today's video is going over all of my most anticipated releases of 2021. So hey, welcome back. Thanks for being here. I hope you're doing well and ready to talk about these amazing books. Up until last night, I wasn't really planning on doing a anticipated reads video since so many people have already put them out, and a lot of these books could possibly be on a lot of other videos, which they probably are. But I started to get so excited about the books that I have pre-ordered, and I just kind of wanted to talk about them and put them on your radar if they are not. So that being said, every single book that I talk about today, which is 20 books, I have already put my orders in. They are pre-ordered. They will be arriving at my doorstep, and I'm very excited for them. They sound amazing. This list will be in no particular order. I'm just gonna go through the little graphic that I have sitting over here, make sure I hit all of them, and let you know what each one of them is kind of about. The very first book on this list is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, which comes out on March 30th. This book is of course the sequel to the duology of King of Scars, in which we follow Nikolai and Zoya. Now I won't be able to tell you too much about it because I still have yet to read King of Scars. I plan on reading it either in February or March so that it is fresh in my mind for Rule of Wolves. But I do know that this book is following the Grisha trilogy and the aftermath of the Civil War with the Darkling. And in it we follow Nikolai, and he is trying to basically hold his kingdom together while also fighting this dark magic that is rising in him. And if you've read the Grisha trilogy, you know about that dark magic, and it makes me very excited to read this book. I think that it'll be a lot of fun. I will really enjoy being back in the Grishaverse, and obviously Rule of Wolves is the sequel to that story. So if I'm not mistaken, I think Rule of Wolves follows Zoya a little bit more, and I don't want to read too much of the synopsis of Rule of Wolves in case there is a spoiler for King of Scars, so that's the best that I could really do for you. But regardless, I'm very excited about this release, excited to pick this up finally. And yeah, the next release I want to talk about is Heartstopper Volume 4, which comes out on May 13th. And Alice Oseman just released today that the Heartstopper series is becoming a Netflix series, and I am so excited. And I know that Alice Oseman is going to be a really big part of the series as a whole, so it should be cast really well, it should be really good, and I'm just really excited about it. So Heartstopper Volume 4 is obviously the 4th volume in the Heartstopper series, in which we follow Charlie and Nick, and they are some of my favorite characters of all time. And as the series has gone on from 1 to 3, it has progressively gotten even more intricate and touched on some really heavy topics that I wasn't really expecting, but I absolutely loved, and really made me appreciate the series even more than just what it could look like as just a wholesome romance, which it is, but it's also starting to bring up some hard-hitting, close-to-home topics, and I am very excited to see what the 4th volume has in store for us. The next title on this list is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers, which comes out on February 23rd. And this one sounds super interesting. It says, a refreshingly timely and relatable debut novel about a young woman whose life plans fall apart when she meets her wife. With her newly completed PhD in astronomy in hand, 28-year-old Grace Porter goes on a girls' trip to Vegas to celebrate. She's a straight A, work through the summer certified high achiever. She's not the kind of person who goes to Vegas and gets drunkenly married to a woman whose name she doesn't know, until she does exactly that. Grace is wondering why she doesn't feel more fulfilled from completing her degree. Staggering under the weight of her father's expectations, a struggling job market, and feelings of burnout, Grace flees her home in Portland for a summer in New York with the wife she barely knows. But when reality comes crashing in, Grace must face what she's been running from all along: the fears that make us human, the family scars that need to heal, and the longing for connection, especially when navigating the messiness of adulthood. I really love how off the wall and spontaneous this book feels, while also having a note of being completely personal, and I just am so excited to experience Morgan Rogers' debut novel and give it a shot. So the next book that I'm going to talk about, this book has already been released by the time that this video has come out, and that is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, and it has come out on January 19th. My order is in, but it is still on its way over to me, but I love this cover so much. I think that it is moody and it just looks atmospheric. Like, I just love it so much. This novel is a gripping story of love and duty set in San Francisco's Chinatown during the Red Scare. In America, 1954, it is not a safe place for two girls to fall in love, especially not in Chinatown. Red Scare paranoia threatens everyone, including Chinese Americans like Lily. With deportation looming over her father, despite the hard-won citizenship, Lily and Kath risk everything to let their love see the light of day. This is one of those books for me that just like the cover alone would probably make me buy this book, but then the synopsis of it also sounds super intriguing and also hard-hitting, so I'm very excited to pick this one up. The next book on this list is Bloodlike Magic by Lizelle Sambury, and it is being published on June 15th. This is another cover that I am obsessed with. It is stunning. Oh, there's so many covers on this graphic here. They're so beautiful. And in Bloodlike Magic, it is a rich, dark urban fantasy debut following a teen witch who was given a horrifying task, sacrificing her first love to save her family's magic. So she'll have to find the perfect guy just so that she can kill him. Sounds crazy. But since she's never been in love, she turns to a genetic matchmaking program that just hit the market. Her plan is to join the program, fall in love, and complete her task before the deadline. She's paired with the infuriating Luke, and she is thinking, how can she fall in love with a guy who seemingly wants nothing to do with her? If she wants to save her heritage and Luke, she'll have to find something her ancestor wants more than blood. And in witchcraft, blood is everything. In scrolling down on Goodreads, just everyone who has commented on the book, like now before it's come out, it just says, witches, murder, Canada? And I just love that. Like, that's it. Witches, murder, and it's set in Canada. Sounds tight. The next book on this list is Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Iamide, and it comes out on June 10th. I have the UK cover up on the screen right now because I am just in love with it, and it is the one that I ordered. So apparently this one is a thriller in which we are at Nevis Private Academy, where money paves the hallways and the students are never less than perfect. Until now. Because anonymous texter Aces is bringing two students' dark secrets to light. Talented musician Devon buries himself in rehearsals, but he can't escape the spotlight when his private photos go public. Head girl Chamaka isn't afraid to get what she wants, but soon everyone will know the price she has paid for power. Someone is out to get them both, someone who holds all the aces, and they're planning much more than a high school game. I am all about like a private school setting. This sounds really, really interesting. I love that it's a thriller. I didn't know it was classified as a thriller until just now. Must have just glossed over on that one. But yeah, I'm super interested to see the dynamic between our two characters and how they are like in the same story. I wonder how they're connected in a way, and just see how it all plays out, because already some people have gotten arcs of it and have been rating it pretty well, so I have high expectations and I'm really looking forward to it. The next book on this list is Lost in the Neverwoods by Aiden Thomas, which comes out on March 23rd. Aiden Thomas is a auto-buy author for me. Since I read Cemetery Boys by them, I am obsessed and really looking forward to this one. Plus, like, again, just look at this cover. Just look at it and appreciate it. It's stunning. And in this one, it says, it's been 5 years since Wendy and her two brothers went missing in the woods, but when the town's children start to disappear, the questions surrounding her brother's mysterious circumstances are brought back into the light. Attempting to flee her past, Wendy almost runs over an unconscious boy lying in the middle of the road. Peter, a boy she thought lived only in her stories, asks for Wendy's help to rescue the missing kids. But in order to find them, Wendy must confront what's been waiting for her in the woods. And like the catch line, since we know I love a good catch line, says, when children start to go missing in local woods, a teen girl must face her fears and a past that she can't remember to rescue them in this atmospheric YA novel. I don't know why, but this book is giving me Wayward Children vibes, and I am not mad about it. I'm really looking forward to this, and whenever a book is described as like atmospheric, I'm super intrigued, especially because it's written by Aiden Thomas. I just really loved how they wrote Cemetery Boys, and I'm just super excited to pick up another one of their books. And the next book on this list is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This cover, again, in love with it. Can we just talk about how perfect it is? Please and thank you. And in this one, we have C, who awoke on an abandoned island 3 years ago. With no idea of how she was marooned, she only has a rickety house, an old android, and a single memory. She has a sister, and C needs to find her. On the other hand, we have Casey, a STEM prodigy who wants to escape from the science and home she once trusted. The Eco-City, Earth's last unpolluted place, is meant to be a sanctuary for those committed to planetary protection, but it's populated by people wanting to do anything for refuge, even lie. Now, she'll have to decide if she's ready to use science to help humanity, even though it failed the people who mattered most. And apparently it says that it is one of the most twisty, surprising, engaging pain turner YAs you'll read this year. And I am here for it. This next one not only also has a gorgeous cover, but I am extra excited for this one. I don't know why, I think it's just the content matter in the book, and that is The Mirror Season by Anna Marie McLemore, and it comes out on March 16th. And in this story, we follow Gracelia Cristalis, whose world changes after she and a boy she barely knows are assaulted at the same party. She loses her gift from making enchanted pandilch, neighborhood trees vanish overnight while mirrored glass appears, bringing reckless magic with it. And Celia is haunted by what happened to her and what happened to the boy whose name she never learned. But when the boy, Locke, shows up at Celia's school, he has no memory of that night and no clue that a single piece of mirrored glass is taking his life apart. Celia decides to help him, which means hiding the truth about that night, because Celia knows who assaulted her and him, and she knows that her survival and his depend on no one finding out what really happened. So this sounds kind of weird. Sounds like there will be obviously some magical and very obscure elements mixed in with the hard-hitting topic of sexual assault. So I am very much looking forward to seeing how this book plays out and handles these topics. Hold on, my camera's gonna die. You see that light? Something's wrong with me. Okay, the next book on this list is Between Perfect and Real by Ray Stuve, and this book comes out on April 13th. And in this story, it says Dean Foster knows he's a trans guy. He's watched enough YouTube videos and done enough questioning to be sure, but everyone at his high school just thinks that he's a lesbian, including his girlfriend Zoe, and his theater director, who just cast him as a non-traditional Romeo. He wonders if maybe it would be easier to wait until college to come out, but as he plays Romeo every day in rehearsals, Dean realizes he wants everyone to see him how he really is now, not just on stage, but everywhere in his life. Dean knows what he needs to do. Can playing a role help Dean be his true self? And this is Ray's debut novel as well, so I'm very excited to experience their writing and also this story. I'm talking with my hands a lot today. I am so sorry. The next book on this list is A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown, and it comes out on August 31st. This is all about the immersive fantasy story told with West African folklore that began with the story of A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. So, A Psalm of Storms and Silence is the sequel, the duology finale of this story. And since A Psalm of Storms and Silence is the sequel to Of Wraiths and Ruin, I don't want to tell you too much about what the sequel's about because you should know what the first one's about and not spoil anything in the first one. And basically, in this story, we have Malik, whose little sister has been taken by a vengeful spirit, and in order to get her back, he has to kill the crown princess, who is Karina. But on the other hand, Karina's mother, the Sultana, was just assassinated, and she wants to try to resurrect her from the dead using ancient magic, but in order to do so, she needs the beating heart of a king. So, the Solstacia is something that happens in this world, in this time, where there is a champion, and the champion ends up retrieving the prize of getting to marry Karina, therefore becoming the king. So Karina is basically marrying the champion in order to use their beating heart for the ritual. But shit hits the fan and it gets really crazy and it's really good. I'm really excited to see how this story continues in A Psalm of Storms and Silence because it left off on a humongous cliffhanger. The next book on this list is Fat Chance Charlie Vega by Crystal Maldonado, and this book comes out on February 2nd. Another stunning cover. I love all the illustrated covers that we're seeing in 2021. I am here for it. And this one says, coming of age as a fat brown girl in a white Connecticut suburb is hard. Harder when your whole life is on fire, though. Charlie Vega is a lot of things. Funny, smart, artistic, ambitious, fat. Some people have a problem with the last one, especially her mom, who keeps leaving weight loss shakes on her dresser, and the world and everyone in it has ideas about what she should look like. But there's one person who's always in Charlie's corner, her best friend Amelia. So when Charlie starts a tentative relationship with a cute classmate Brian, the first worthwhile guy to notice her, everything is perfect until she learns one thing. He asked out Amelia first. So, is she the second choice or what? Does he really even see her? Everything is now officially a mess. I am just here for how this sounds. Like, it sounds like how I talk. So it feels like it'll be like a really like quick, easy, fun, but hard-hitting read. The next book on this list is If I Disappear by Elaine Jane Brazier, and it is out on January 26th. And this one says, when her favorite true crime podcast host goes missing, an adrift young woman plunges headfirst into the wild backcountry of Northern California and her dangerous obsession. Right off the bat, this caught my attention because I was just recently in Northern California when Caleb had proposed to me, and it is wild out there. Like, I couldn't imagine being in the backcountry. Like, we obviously stick to the hiking paths in the redwoods. The backcountry is no joke. That's terrifying. And basically, the clues on the last few episodes of the podcast that Sarah was listening to leads her to an isolated ranch outside of Rachel's small hometown. Rachel is the girl who makes the podcast. But the more Sarah digs into the unfamiliar world, the more off things start to feel. Because Rachel's not the first woman to vanish from the ranch, and she won't be the last. Rachel did try to warn her. I think that sounds really intriguing. I really love the setting of it, like I just said, and I'm just really excited to try it out. The next book on this list is Witches Steeped in Gold by Cyanon Smart, and it is out on April 20th. And this one says, divided by their castes, united by their vengeance. Ira and Jasmine are sworn enemies, but these two witches enter a precarious alliance to take down a mutual threat. But revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain, except the lengths they will go to win this game. Deadly, fierce, magnetically addictive, this Jamaican-inspired fantasy debut is a thrilling journey where dangerous magic reigns supreme and betrayal lurks beneath every word. And one of my lovely subscribers, Lisa, actually pre-ordered this for me from my wish list, so thank you so much. That was very, very sweet of you. But the story sounds really interesting, especially with the Jamaican-inspired fantasy part of it, as well as just like two people that hate each other so much, but they put that aside to go towards like a common goal. But in the midst of the journey, like, you know, there's going to be some pretty good, funny, aggressive banter, and I love good banter, so I'm looking forward to it. The next book on this list is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing, and this comes out in July 27th. This one sounds really, really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to it. It says, Samantha Downing's latest sneaky thriller set at a prestigious private school, complete with interfering parents, over-eager students, and one teacher who just wants to teach them all a lesson. Teddy Crutcher has won Teacher of the Year at esteemed Belmont Academy, home to the best and brightest. He says his wife couldn't be more proud, though no one has seen her for a while. Teddy really can't be bothered with the death of a school parent that's looking more and more like murder, or the student digging a little too deep into Teddy's personal life. His main focus is on pushing these kids to their full academic potential. All he wants is for his colleagues and the endlessly meddlesome parents to stay out of his way. It's really too bad that sometimes excellence can come at such a high cost. So another private school setting, into it, and also sounds like this dude's got some problems, and I am excited to learn about them and be very unsettled by them. The next book, another beautiful cover, is The Dead in the Dark by Courtney Gold, and it comes out on August 3rd. So this is Courtney Gold's thrilling debut novel, and it is about things that lurk in dark corners, the parts of you that can't remain hidden, and about finding home in places and people you didn't expect. And basically in this story, teenagers are disappearing and some are turning up dead in Snakebite, Oregon. This obviously isn't normal, and people are pointing to the TV's most popular ghost hunters who have just returned to town. I love ghost hunters. Ghost Adventures was my shit growing up. That was such a vibe. That was the show. Anyways, Ashley Barton's boyfriend was the first teen to go missing, and she's felt his presence ever since. But now that the Orys Woodsleys are in town, the ghost hunters, his ghost is following her, and the only person Ashley can trust is the mysterious Logan, who was the daughter of one of the ghost hunters. When Ashley and Logan team up to figure out who or what is haunting Snakebite, their investigation reveals truths about the town, their families, and themselves that neither of them are ready for. As the danger intensifies, they realize that their growing feelings for each other could be a light in the darkness. And we love a female-female enemies to lovers. I am here for it. I am super excited about this. I love that there are ghost hunters in this story. That sounds amazing. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. The next book on this list is Counting Down With You by Tashi Bhuiyan, and it comes out on May 4th. This book is a romance. I don't know. I'm using this novel as a test. It has fake dating in it, and that's a trope. I mean, all romance tropes I'm not really familiar with for myself, but this has fake dating, and I really want to see if it's something that I really like. And plus, just the synopsis, I mean, it sounds really fun, it sounds really interesting, so I definitely want to give it a shot, and I have pre-ordered it, I am excited about it. And the quick synopsis about this is, it says, in this sparkling and romantic YA debut, a reversed Bangladeshi teenager has 28 days to make the biggest decision of her life after agreeing to fake date her school's resident bad boy. So basically, our main character, Karina, her parents are abroad visiting Bangladesh for 4 weeks. And during this time, Karina agrees to fake date the resident bad boy of the school. And Ace Clyde is doing everything right. He's bringing her coffee, he's doing all of the right things, and she's basically counting down the days until things go back to normal when her parents come back. But what if Karina no longer wants them to go back to normal? So again, I'm very new to the romance genre, so I don't really know if I'm going to love it, but I think that the synopsis of it sounds like something that I could possibly really like. So I'm using this as a further dipping my toe into the romance genre, and I'm looking forward to it. I think that it should be really fun, and the cover is very cute. The next book on this list is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Ning Vo, and it comes out on June 1st. This one says, immigrant, socialite, magician. Jordan Baker grows up in the most rarefied circles of 1920s American society. She has money, education, a killer golf handicap, and invitations to some of the most exclusive parties of the jazz age. She's also queer, Asian adopted, and treated as an exotic attraction by her peers, while the most important doors remain closed to her. But the world is full of wonders, infernal pacts and dazzling illusions, lost ghosts and elemental mysteries. Ning Vo reinvents this coming-of-age story full of magic, mystery, and glittering excess, and introduces a major new literary voice. Again, the cover. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And this is also the same author that wrote The Empress of Salt and Fortune and When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain. And I have those sitting right over there. I am also excited to read those this coming year. But yeah, the synopsis for this one sounds really, really intriguing, and I am really looking forward to it. The next book on my list is The Sea is Salt and So Am I by Cassandra Hart, and it comes out on June 8th. It says, West Finch is one hurricane away from falling into the sea. Yet, 16-year-old Harlow Prout is determined to save her small Maine hometown. I love Maine. It's one of my favorite states in the world. Okay, continuing. If only she could stop getting in her own way and find someone, anyone, willing to help. But her best friend, Ellis McQueen, fixes problems by running away from them, including his broken friendship with his twin brother, Tommy. And Tommy's depression has hit a new low, so he's not up for fixing anything. In the wake of the town's latest devastating storm, Tommy goes out for a swim that he doesn't intend to survive. It's his unexpected return that also sets into motion a sea change between these 3 teens. One that tests old loyalties, sparks new romance, and uncovers painful secrets. And nothing stays a secret in West Finch for long. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this author writes this dynamic between mental illness and these relationships with other people, and therefore like a budding new friendship and potential romance. So I'm really excited to see how this one goes. And the very last one on this list, you could have guessed it, it is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. And this one comes out on February 16th. And this is obviously the finale to the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and as you know, I am reading through it for the very first time. I just finished ACOMAF and it was absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited to continue to see how this story goes and how it ends with A Court of Silver Flames. Editing Sydney here. Hello, how are you? Since filming this video, I have placed one more pre-order, and it's definitely worth mentioning, so I wanted to just hop on and tell you what it is really quick. And the book in question is titled Dear Centurion, a Black Spirit Memoir by hheeyyyy. And if you've been on my channel at all, you know that hheeyyyy is an auto-buy author for me. I think that this book is going to be very, very powerful and very personal. From what hheeyyyy posted on their Instagram page when they were talking about this book coming out, it seemed very, very close and very, very raw, real, and important to them, and I'm just really, really looking forward to experiencing it. But the description of it is, in letters addressed to their friends, to members of their family, both biological and chosen, and to fellow storytellers, hheeyyyy describes the shape of a life lived in overlapping realities. Through heartbreak, chronic pain, intimacy, and death, becoming a beast, this is embodiment as a non-human, outside the boundaries imposed by expectations and legibility. This book is an account of the grueling work of realignment and remaking necessary to carve out a future for oneself. The result is a Black Spirit memoir, a powerful, raw unfolding of identity. This book comes out on June 8th, and like I said before, I'm just really, really looking forward to it. And I just wanted to pop on and tell you that I have put in my pre-order and I wanted this book to be on your radar as well. So throwing it back to past Sydney. Okay, bye. But yeah, so there you have it. Those are the 20 books that I have put my orders in for as new releases for 2021. And I hope that you found a new release that's coming out in 2021 that you're excited to read as well. If you are still watching, then leave the ball of yarn emoji. That's just what I'm picking. And thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me for a little bit. I appreciate all of your support. Don't forget to subscribe down below, like the video, and as always, be kind to one another and happy reading.